All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Assets of the Metaverse, episode number 3. I'm your host, Lou Kerner, with Blockchain Co-Investors. We're a crypto fund-to-fund invested in 26 of the leading crypto VCs around the world. And as believers in and investors in the metaverse, we launched this show to help ourselves and the broader community put the metaverse into context by letting leaders in the space share their views on where we are and where we're going. And we've got two great speakers for you today. Our first expert is Patrick Brill with DappRadar, one of the leading providers of data on dApps, including NFTs. Welcome, Patrick.
Hi, guys.
Where are you dialing in from today?
The UK, London in the UK.
All right, it's a global show here. And our other featured speaker is Ben Lakoff, co-founder of NFT protocol, Charged Particles. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Lou. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Drew Austin, with Redbeard Ventures. Hey, Drew.
Hey, Lou, for some reason, it's not letting me start the video, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, hold on just a moment. I've got to make you a co-host, which now you are. There you go.
All right. Okay.
All right. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Lou.
And Ben, you're dialing in from LA?
I am indeed.
Drew, you're New York?
I'm in Brooklyn.
All right, terrific. So the format is real simple. Each of our speakers are going to talk for about 8 to 10 minutes. Starting with Patrick. And then the second half of the show is Q&A from the audience. So if you've got a question, please put it into the Q&A box on Zoom. And if we pick your question, we'll let you know, and we'll bring you up on stage and make you an additional panelist so you can ask the question yourselves and any follow-ups. And I think with that, I'd like to hand it over to Patrick.
Absolutely. Thanks, Lou. Thanks for having me. I'll start sharing my screen. Let's see. So here we go. That's DappRadar. Some of you might be familiar with us. What we do is tracking dApps, so decentralized applications across a variety of blockchains. So if I scroll down, you see we're tracking dApps on Ethereum, on EOS, on Tron, on Bora, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and lots of others. We track the amount of activity there, which new decentralized applications are popping up. And we have been doing that for 3.5 years, I believe. So we've been the first player in that category who has been tracking what's happening in terms of applications using the blockchain. We have gone through a couple of iterations, couple of trends that we have seen over the last couple of years. So it all started with the first decentralized exchanges and CryptoKitties and so forth 3-4 years ago. And then we have seen, obviously, last year, DeFi emerging, and we've started tracking total value locked on DappRadar, which you find also on many other services. So if you click on this, you can see our rankings, and you can see how many people are using exchanges like Uniswap and so forth. And right now you can't see anything because there you go. You can see that total value locked and so forth, the token price, and usually also how many users are investing. And then end of last year, or in the second half, we saw that non-fungible tokens have become really a big thing in our industry, and we started adding tracking for NFTs, so for non-fungible tokens. Oops. So what you see here, and so you can see that games like X Infinity or art collections like art blocks, PFPs or profile picture collections, and so forth. We're ranking the trading volume, how many people are trading, how many sales there are. And that's quite important for today's show, I believe, because there are a couple of collections emerging, like Meebits, and I'm going to click into this. So all those nice little cute guys, like this one here, who we are expecting to show up in the metaverse at some point in time. This little fellow. So we're tracking trading of all these NFTs that we expect to be to show up at some point in the metaverse. So yeah, this is, you can see that this little fellow has been traded 16 hours ago for a whopping $100,000 US. And what you can also see is from which wallet was selling this and which wallet was buying this. So I'm going to click on this wallet and you will see that I'll open up our portfolio tracker, which then is going to show you what that specific wallet who purchased this Meebit, this elephant Meebit, what else they have in their wallet. So that's a service that we offer. We not just only track trading, selling and buying of these NFTs, but we also help you discover what these selling and buying wallets do collect, what they trade, what they hold. If I look into NFTs, you can see that it looks like that this wallet holds 1 Meebit, 4 generative masks, 4 mummies, never heard of. No, not true. I saw this before. Yeah, so that's basically what we do. We help users. I'm going to go back, track which NFTs, and we are also starting to track sales on Decentraland and on other metaverses like CryptoVoxels, Sandbox, Somnium Space, and how much is being traded there. So in Decentraland, it looks like 12 items were traded for $250,000 US just within the last 24 hours. Here on the right side, you see the most valuable ones. And again, most of these, or some of these NFTs, for example, if you think about art blocks, about we're tracking those. Yeah, we do. They will show up at some point in the metaverse, probably as a painting in somebody's gallery. So if we do the same again here, click on the art blocks. There we go. You should be able to see that NFT in all its glory. There we go. This will probably show up in somebody's, when transferred into the metaverse, somebody will be able to hang that in their own home, in their own art gallery, wherever they want in the metaverse. So yeah, in a nutshell, we at DappRadar, we track what's happening on all these various decentralized applications. Metaverses are one type of dApps, one type of decentralized applications. We track the NFTs that then might show up in those metaverses, like this one, for example. And we try to, so the last sales price, we try helping with the valuation. So this one was last sold for 650 ETH, around about $2 million US. You come to our NFT valuator, you can see that we start valuing some of the most traded, most used, or most famous PFP or NFT collections in general. Just looking at CryptoPunks, let's say I want to know the value for 1, 2, 3, 4. The idea of that punk is going to tell me 1, 2, 3, 4, which is this young lady. We estimate the value of this NFT right now at about $140 145 US dollars. So we offer lots of tools to explore, discover NFTs and their values, which are starting to pop up in the metaverse and will populate the metaverse in the future. Lou, back to you, and throw questions at me. You're on mute right now. Throw
Yeah, sure. So
give me your
Patrick,
questions. Happy to answer.
do you have, yeah, and I'm sure you do you track like traffic to, that's looking at, the different assets? So, how many people are looking at CryptoPunks? How many people are looking at Meebits?
So what we do is we track, let's go back to our homepage. We track, if you look at, we track trading volume. So how many trades are happening? And if you want to know how many people in general interacted with, let's look at, where do we, collectibles. I can see that NBA Top Shots yesterday, 7,500 people were interacting with NBA Top Shots. We have, where are my?
That's on their site, or where?
No, we're getting that. We're getting that information from nodes of the Flow blockchain. So we track that through the protocols itself.
Super interesting.
Wait, can you go back to Top Shot again? I just wanted to see what that.
Sure. Here we go.
So now it does. So okay. So it says that's the volume traded yesterday.
Exactly.
Number of traders, number of sales. It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. I haven't checked out DappRadar in a while, Patrick. It's looking great, like
Yeah.
really, really great.
What is your guys' funding situation? Have you guys raised capital? Where are you there?
Go to Lou. He just invested
Yeah.
in us.
Yeah, I'm an investor. I'd be happy to talk to you about it, Drew.
Yeah.
I'm a very happy investor, and I guess they'll be raising again because they're growing rapidly.
Yeah, I like what you guys are doing here. So what do you think what's the vision here for you guys? Like beyond, like where do you see this all going?
Well, we are working on a new brand positioning right now. We are working on a very clear company positioning, because we have always been perceived as a analytics and tracking site in this space, and we're going to unveil a completely new company positioning over the next 1 or 2 months. So it's in the making, and we're going to have probably a couple of sessions, a couple of press releases pretty soon, where we're going to unveil where this is going. But what you can see here is, we have all the tracking. If you go, one category that we currently see exploding is games.
Yep, totally.
If you go to X Infinity, which is obviously the one that is leading right now by far, you can start buying XE tokens on DappRadar. You can start buying the small love potion for XE. If I click here, it goes on our swapping tool, so you can start. You can start interacting, buying and selling through us. So there is a lot that we have in the pipeline that is coming.
And what have you seen, to the degree can disclose, kind of the traffic, looking at this information?
Oh, absolutely. No, we're sending about. So down here you see all those XEs, all those little cute ones that are being traded, and you see who's selling, who's buying. So we are sending about 1 million people into dApps every month. So we've seen a strong growth. We've seen massive growth since beginning of the year, and yeah, it's starting to become really mainstream. NFTs, but now games are making this a mainstream business, and yeah, we are seeing 1 million people that we are sending through to X Infinity, NFT collections, and so forth.
And is there any, can you drill down any deeper in that million, geographically, or, any other way that you're, able to talk about them?
Yeah, absolutely. If you come to reports, we have a team that churns out reports on what we do. So right here is everything on games that we have seen in July, NFTs, blockchain user behavior reports. So that is, we talk a lot about geographics, and I think what we are seeing is DeFi comes mostly from the US. Games is mainly due to Axie Infinity, very much driven out of Southeast Asia. China is strong across the board. When you look at play to earn, you see emerging markets or countries like Venezuela, Thailand, Brazil, and so forth. Very interested. The Philippines, very interested. Vietnam, strongly active there, because for lots of people there, it's becoming how they bring in their income. So you find lots of reports drilling into that kind of information in our report section.
Wow, super interesting stuff. Thanks a lot for sticking around for the Q&A part, Patrick. I really appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
Hey Patrick, do you guys have Zed Run on here, like from and Polygon products?
Yeah, absolutely. We track that. We have been tracking that for a while. Yeah.
Great.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah. Hand it over to Ben.
Sure. I'm going to steal your screen share.
There you go.
Continue. All right. Can everybody see my screen? Can you see my screen? Hear me okay?
Yeah.
All of the above. Cool. This is the presentation I did at ETHCC last month. So keep in mind, a bit of it is a slightly outdated. Crypto market's moving very quickly. So
that means
I'll go over
from this morning and be outdated.
It's true. It's true. I mean, last week is already just very aged. So I'll go over who am I quickly, a quick NFT market update. So I'll do this quite quickly, especially with the audience that you probably have, and then talk about what's next for NFTs, talking about the financialization of NFTs, and then an intro into Charged Particles, which is my project. Who am I? Ben Lakoff. Great job, Lou, pronouncing it correctly. Looks like Lakoff, pronounced like Lakoff. My background is in finance, which means I get to put these cool 3 little letters after my name, CFA. I'm based in LA. Actually run Crypto Mondays here with Lou. So if you're ever in LA, every Monday in Venice, we meet up. It's a great
Crypto
group
Mondays,
of people.
LA rocks.
Yeah, we have about 100 people every week. So NFTs have really unleashed this new type of person that shows up. So before it was miners, traders, investors, speculators. Now we have artists and music industry people and entertainment, and it's great.
Are you going to do another? Because I was there. You did a special Crypto Monday NFT Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I stopped doing that. 2 in-person events each week is way too much. But actually, this coming week we have Les from Wave Financial talking about they launched an NFT fund and talking about trends within the NFT world. So lots of good stuff. I'm a business lead, co-founder at Charged Particles, angel investor since 2016, advisor to a number of companies in the space, and a mentor at the Lao and Gitcoin Kernel. Gitcoin Kernel's awesome community. If you're interested in that, always DM me. I'm always open to talk about it. All right. NFTs, setting the stage. NFTs are non-fungible tokens, which means they're unique tokens. They're not fungible. They offer true digital ownership secured by the blockchain. These now infinitely replicable digital items are provably scarce, and the world's starting to take note. So I'll go kind of quickly through what happened. So, the idea was NFTs have bottomed out since in the last month. It's been a little chaotic. So this, at the time, the media narrative was that the NFT market is dead. If you're looking at Patrick's site, you can very much see that it's very much not dead. There's an avatar mania that's still going on somehow. OpenSea had its best month ever in June. They raised a bunch of money. There's a lot going on, but it's still very much focused on art and collectibles. And NFTs are these unique tokens and can be so much more. So NFT, the theory of the narrative is still very much art. So these are just some of the headlines I grabbed last month, but a lot of big name ones. When thinking about trends, as Patrick kind of talked about with the axes, there are the next iteration is likely NFTs in-game items. And the number that gamers are spending on in-game items is just astronomical. So in 2025, it's expected to be $75 billion. So I think as we all kind of subscribe to this, us spending more and more time in the digital world, the metaverse, people will be spending more money on these in-game items. It fits into this like thesis of the metaverse and this next place where we live, work, and play. So the metaverse is coming. There's big names coming for it. So $1 billion raised by Epic Games. There's a publicly traded metaverse index fund these days. People are starting to take note. So we hope that it's this utopian, you can own all of your assets, decentralized, not walled garden version of the metaverse, but there's some big names coming for it as well. What else? Within NFTs, access tokens, token gates. These allow you to take your NFT and throw away your password. This NFT becomes your password to access gated content, whether that be WordPress, Shopify, a Google form, a chat group, what have you. So the numbers around these sorts of economies are quite gigantic as well. A big theme right now is the financialization of NFTs. So this is something I subscribe to. I think that the lines will become more and more blurred of, well, this is an NFT, a JPEG, look at it, it's pretty. And this is a financial product, some sort of DeFi protocol. These will get closer and closer together. So what's happening in the space right now, fractional ownership. This was done a month ago before fractional art launched. And I mean, it's really, really blown up the place. So this fits into the benefits of digitization. It's multiple people can truly own little pieces. You can buy out. You can do these with people you don't trust, you don't know, in a completely trustless way across the world. You have things that I believe will be quite big. So you don't want to sell your NFT, you can rent it in a completely trustless, decentralized manner to somebody else. You don't want to sell your NFT, you can hold it and use it as collateral, take out a loan. So for the non-crypto people, it's like a HELOC, home equity line of credit. Or, for the more crypto native, it's like a over collateralized lending. You take one Bitcoin, you put it in, Bitcoin's $30,000, you take a $10,000 loan. You don't have to sell it. It's not a taxable event. This is coming for NFTs and really adds a whole new layer of utility and value versus a physical art piece that I have in my house. I don't have good physical art pieces, but if I do, it would be over there. NFTs representing identity. So on-chain credit scoring, this DeFi passport, this essential like Web3 identity source used as an NFT is a very, very fascinating concept and something I think that will be very, very big. And then obviously combining these things into new categories. So structured products, financial products as NFTs. These are unique tokens combined with DeFi in new, unique ways, in ways that we can't really even imagine yet. So this is the world we envision at Charged Particles. So Charged Particles simply, and I can slow down, I'm going very fast. This was a 20-minute conversation that I'm condensing into 8. So just throw up a hand if I need to slow down or anything. I realize I'm cramming. So Charged Particles is an NFT protocol that allows you to take your NFT and put things inside of it. So those things that you can put inside of it can be ERC20 token, social token, yield-bearing asset through Aave or Compound. You can also put other NFTs inside of your NFT. So it's NFT agnostic, any type of NFT. And then whatever you put inside of it, you have customizable mechanics around what is in there, time locks and things like that. If there's accrued interest, what that equates to within the ecosystem, there's a lot that you can do there. So we went live on mainnet. This is started as a nights and weekends project since early 2020. Went live on mainnet in February 2021, also on Polygon, to give you this ability to play around in new, unique ways on with NFTs at virtually zero cost on sidechain Polygon. This is what the dApp looks like. So we have a marketplace and a minting station. It's free to mint. We've had over $2 million in NFT sales, but this is really just a proof of concept of this idea of a NFT as a container, as a basket, holding these other tokens in a programmable way. This is just what an infographic we use to kind of show what this looks like. So if I'm Jennifer, I own an NFT, that NFT can then own other assets in a programmatic way. So you create an NFT, we've talked about it. It's not just art, obviously. What can you do just with our dApp or proof of concept, the way that it is? What about an NFT gift basket? You can create this NFT and fill it full of whatever your heart desires and transfer this entire thing with one click. So, I mean, you think about trust funds or entire portfolios transferred as an NFT. It's very difficult to transfer wallet ownership. So I've started and will post about it, a trust account for my nephew. It's got an EMS domain. It's got some assets in it. Well, whenever he's ready and he can manage his own private key, I can transfer that entire NFT to him. I can time lock it until he's 18. So he can, even though he sees that this thing has assets inside of it, he can't pull it apart and buy something silly. You can start doing things like new improved NFTs. So your NFT is the container owning NFTs. Maybe it's owning art, NFTs, JPEGs, avatars, PFPs, whatever. Maybe it's owning a parcel of land, of virtual real estate in a metaverse like CryptoVoxels or Somnium Space. Maybe it owns other governance tokens from NFT protocols in the space or index fund ERC20s. You can put all of these into your NFT like a basket, and benefits of those one-click transfers, but you could further complicate it by fractionalizing this, turning it into ERC20s. Then these represent kind of this bigger basket of NFT funds. Another use case that we love with games, obviously, is you have interest-bearing assets containerized within this NFT. Well, as interest accrues, it earns more power within the game, which is a really fun gamification that I think blockchain-based games can add that we get really excited about. So if you can mint your own, or went live last week, if you have an NFT that was minted on Rarible, you could take that to Charge Particles and you can add assets to it and charge it up. So all NFTs can be charged and hold tokens, and giving them these customized configurations on what to do with them. Charge Particles is free to mint, deposit, configure. Everything's free right now. We have fees, but they're all set at 0. And we're looking forward to working with people and really pushing the limits of what's possible with Charge Particles. So this is the roadmap. Said we launched early May. This is the team. We've got a big one. We're also hiring any dev and non-dev talent. So DM me. I'm at Ben Lakoff on Twitter. Always happy to chat. We have a number of investors in the space. So venture DAO like the Lao, CoinGecko, Longhash, Parify, a number of D64. These guys and some prominent angel investors in the group. That is Charge Particles and a little overview of what's going on in the NFT world. I know I spoke very quickly. I took a 20-minute conversation and I jammed it into 8 minutes.
That was great, Ben. Thanks a lot. So since you've been live, because obviously, you can, think about and talk about blah, 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 what's going to happen when you go live, but that's never what happens when you go live. So what's happened since you've gone live? What have you learned? How has it been different than what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah. Well, we went live in February, and I mean, we think of charged particles as an NFT protocol. So art is like the least interesting use case of NFTs, but we are getting quite a bit of use. I mean, people experimenting around with NFTs and putting things inside of them, NFTs as art. So we haven't quite seen as much uptick in non-art use cases yet. And that's partly because that's the way we're advertising, is more towards art. And that's the way our DApp is focused more towards art. So I think transitioning away from, we're just a way to make your JPEG NFT more interesting, to we're actually an NFT protocol that we want to be omnipresent and involved in a number of different NFT projects. That's kind of where we're going.
And how are people finding out about you today?
Yeah, organically. So we have a really good community that we've been around for a year and a half. So a pretty good group of core supporters that have been around. And then a lot of it is via Twitter and things like this, helping spread awareness. I mean, I spoke at ETHCC, met a bunch of people, people from the internet that I've known for like years, but I've never met in person. So these sorts of more organic growth things are what's been driving the growth thus far.
How do you guys so for, let's say for gaming, for example, how do you integrate within the gaming ecosystem?
Yeah, well, the short answer is it's not possible yet because we don't have an API or SDK, but as soon as those are available, then it becomes pretty easier.
Totally. So like your earliest use cases that you think are going to be like, because gaming probably is then phase 2 or 3. Like, what do you think is the earliest use case that you're going to see the most like kind of excitement around, that's still kind of in that MVP realm?
Yeah, I still subscribe to the fact that art is a great first use case. I think these people are, they're artists, they're creatives, they're pushing the boundaries, they're looking to do crazy new things. So the ability for an NFT to be a piggy bank and a portion of the interest generated from DeFi protocols going to a charity, that makes your art piece very unique. Having the interest generated influence the way that art piece looks. So you're kind of gamifying people depositing more tokens inside of it. These are all pretty cool initial use cases. Are they like the killer app of what's charged particles is possible? No, but it's a pretty darn cool use case.
Any thoughts towards so obviously we're seeing a ton of, I'd say I think the big movement right now is to the PFP projects, the avatar projects. Any use cases or interesting opportunities you've seen there in terms of these profile picture avatar projects?
Yeah, tons. So there's tons. So they need to differentiate, right? Like there's people's wallets look like a freaking barnyard these days. So
that's why I was thinking this is an interesting opportunity for
yeah. So if anybody's launching one of these things, DM me, because I have tons of great ideas that I won't drown on about for hours. But we've just went live with whitelisting other NFT contracts. So up until now, you had to create the NFT on Charged Particles, and then you can charge it, you can energize it, put things inside of it. Now we've just launched whitelisting. So we don't want to be this walled garden forever, right? This is just security that we want to make sure that the NFT contract is there's nothing malicious and that it works in our front end, et cetera, et cetera. But we've started with Rarible. So any NFT created on Rarible, you can come to Charged Particles and you can charge it up. You can energize it. Well, it's pretty easy to start whitelisting these other NFT contract addresses. So you've created Bored Apes from this NFT contract address. You just give it to us. We whitelist it. Then you take all of your Bored Apes to Charged Particles and you can energize them and deposit things inside of them. So you take a Bored Ape and you put 4 Meebits inside of it, and then you fractionalize it. Like that's freaking crazy, right? So it gives you this opportunity. They're PR plays all over the place, right? Which are pretty cool.
That's really interesting. And it doesn't change the token, right? At all. It doesn't all, it's not like now a wrap token or anything of that nature, is it?
No, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it's so important to note, and somehow I think it's in the slides, but the NFT is still in the standard ERC 721. We're not tinkering with the standard at all.
Got it.
Okay, terrific. So we've got some questions, and I'm trying to bring them up on stage so they can ask them themselves. I'm not quite sure why they aren't appearing on stage yet. But I'll ask the first question as we wait for Jeff to come on stage. Very weird, done this lots, never seen this happen before. But in any case, Jeff had a question, wanted to know if either one of you two had relationships with Electronic Arts.
So
No.
we're talking to lots of developers out there. We have about, I don't know, 7,000 developers registered on DAppRadar. So everybody who has ever launched, deployed a decentralized application at Dapp is registered on DAppRadar. We are talking with lots of developers, but we don't have Electronic Arts as a developer yet. There are quite a few who are knocking on our door, who are testing the waters, but Electronic Arts not for now.
Okay, Jeff, now you're you can talk now.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Turn your camera on if you want to.
I don't see how I can turn my camera on.
Okay.
There's no camera thing. It doesn't matter. I don't think.
Yeah, it says stop video down on the bottom thing.
It says mute, and there's no camera icon.
Oh, okay. Don't know what that's about, but in any case.
All right. No, I've been having people contact me because I was a co-founder of Electronic Arts. That doesn't mean I still have tons of contacts there because it's turned over completely since I was there. I do know the CEO, Andrew Wilson, and only one person from the original days is still there, Nancy Fong. But I have people come to me all the time saying, oh, how do we, get connected with Electronic Arts and NFTs internal to their games and things? And I wondered if there's any, if either of you guys has somehow or other established or broken into Electronic Arts. I doubt it because I think it's pretty impenetrable. They're probably doing their own thing, but I don't really know what they're doing because they won't share that with me at all. They're very, very secretive. But I just thought that's why I posed the question. Are you guys involved at all? But I also keep wondering, as I heard you talk, I was thinking, okay, so I'm trying to fit this all into the metaverse. And I realize it's sort of a peripheral thing to metaverses, but I still am not convinced that there is any metaverse that exists. So question.
Yeah, so there are a few out there, and we've seen more coming up. So there, Decentraland was, I think they were the first ones. Then we've got lots of traction as CryptoVoxels, Somnium Space looks quite neat. More of a more pixel arty like Roadblock style is the Sandbox. Meebits has shown up, and the guys from Lava Labs have raised, I don't know, $80 million selling those Meebits. They have some experience in building some of game type experiences. I expect them to come up with something. So things are happening. But, the other player, which at some point in time will certainly arrive, is Mr. Zuckerberg. So there are things happening,
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Yeah.
Appreciate the question.
Just to add on that, you talked about Electronic Arts, the French company Gameloft or Ubisoft. They have been pretty active already since about 3 or 4 years, funding startups, giving type of scholarship or offering blockchain gaming startups their support. So there's clear interest from some of the established players out there, but they're also careful at not how this might play back on their existing IP, because their existing user base for their existing IPs might see that very critical if they are trying to make even more money through the blockchain. You know, everything has gone play to earn, which not everybody has welcomed. So those big players in the gaming in the game space introducing new technologies like blockchain and so, which, you know, is clear that that's going to happen, and play to earn is a given. They need to be careful how to navigate that, because their existing user bases might be very critical. How they introduce that, they might paint that as an effort just to get more money out of users, not painting the benefits that this might bring towards their user base.
Okay, thanks, Patrick. Our next question is from Simon. Simon?
Can everyone hear okay?
Yes.
I apologize for the very strong Northeast England accent, so I'll try and slow it right down. My question was for Ben. Do you plan to try and get younger generations involved in this? For example, my children only ever ask for Minecoins and Robux. That's all they ask for. They don't want toys. They're not interested at all. All they want to spend their money on is online collectibles. So I understood straight away when I heard of NFTs how the younger generations would adapt to it, just seeing how my kids have went on for the last few years. Now I look behind me, you can't see me on camera, but I've got lots of 80s and 90s figures, the wrestling, Turtles, He-Man, them all. Do you think would be a way to integrate so that like the younger generation will have their collectibles, their digital collectibles, in the same way as an old fart like me has toys and figures?
Yeah, well, so with Charged Particles, I mean, ultimately will be more of a B2B play and like integrated in with a number of these other platforms, and they'll be targeting this. But I think, I mean, the younger generation, they, like you said, they're asking for collectibles, these digital assets that don't make any sense to the older generation. So I think, yes, broadly speaking, like younger generation embracing the metaverse and the idea of digital collectibles holding and retaining a larger percentage of their wealth. These will be like the first adopters of like, yeah, of course I'll buy like an avatar. You know, I buy non-organic bananas because I want to save 5 cents per pound, but like, of course I'll spend $20,000 on an avatar because all of my digital friends see my avatar, and that's what's important to me. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, especially since COVID, it was UK was very hard hit. The schools were closed for a long time, and my children, 7 and 10-year-old, they spent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I lost you right after your kids spent.
Yeah, every hour online talking with their friends on Facebook chat, Hangouts, house party. So they kind of were already part of their own kind of metaverse. They had 2 devices simultaneously while they were playing Roblox. They were chatting with each other, and it was almost like they'd adapted instantly to the metaverse, and they were part of it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Simon, can you turn your camera on now? They've changed some controls. You got the stop video on the bottom of the now. There you go.
That was cool.
Wait.
Oh, there's all the collectibles. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Simon, thanks for anything else you'd like to ask?
No, that was it. That was it. Great, Patrick. It seems great what you're doing. I was having a quick look there, and I didn't realize that Atomic was so high up the list in marketplaces, and it was great to see all that information in one place, because I didn't know of any other database where you could find out all that information, especially regarding NFTs and how much they're trading for and what kind of volume. So great, really, really good.
Perfect. Come over, set up your own account, start discovering, and let us know what you want us to change and how we can improve.
Definitely, man. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Simon. And again, if
Yes.
anybody has a question, put it in the Q&A box on Zoom. Let me ask you guys that I normally finish the show with, but if you guys were on here in a year from today, what do you think that we'd be talking about then with regards to NFTs that we're not talking about now? Ben, I'll start with you. I'm looking
Well,
forward.
I cheated and I talked about basically everything I could think about. So I guess the use cases, I would say just the further blurring of NFTs and financial products. So financial NFTs, like financial NFTs, just integrating their way into more financial products and what we're interacting with. That'd be my response.
Have you been having any substantial conversations with kind of institutional investors?
Institutional now, but a number of different DeFi protocols working on integrating NFTs in a unique way within their protocols for sure.
Okay, terrific. Patrick?
I fully support what Ben just said. So I think many people have not grasped yet what NFTs are going to be doing. And you might call me crazy. I think NFTs are generally undervalued simply because most people have not understood yet how much value there is and how you can make money from NFTs. And that's something that is going to change over the next 12 months, I believe. So as Ben said, NFTs are going to become collateral. I fully subscribe to that. I've seen some use cases, and I myself have been able to generate income from just holding a couple of NFTs. That has completely blown me away. So in summary, in 12 months' time, NFTs will be all over the place, but not just as collectibles. I think the space will evolve. We'll talk about play to earn, and that will change many people's lives, and we'll see lots. If governments around the world will not regulate this to death, and I hope they are not that, they are smart enough, because then this space will drive lots of wealth for many, many people, driven through NFTs, through play to earn and DeFi as a whole, which will come through games and so forth. So this is going to be a nice place to be in 12 months' time.
Very cool. Drew?
I'll repeat the question, Familia.
And if we're here a year from today, what do you think we'll be talking about with regards to NFTs that were in the metaverse that we're not talking about today?
My guess would probably be social tokens. I think social tokens will be much more involved. I think you'll probably see a big movement for social tokens as something that's in part of NFTs, like inside of charged particles. Actually, I could see that being a big movement. But yeah, I think social tokens and how they're incorporated into the NFT space will be next year's big conversation, as this year's NFT conversation and last year's was DeFi. That's kind of my hunch. I think the year after that will be a VR-driven metaverse.
Wow. Okay, that would be exciting if that happened in a year. So let's see. Our next question is from John. Let's see, John. You turn your camera on.
Yeah.
Or you can just ask the question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. I followed you guys the last couple of times, and I learned so much from you. And that, you had Zed Run, and I wish I had bought some horses. I guess that's how it works.
Gotta get some horses.
And if I had gotten involved in that when you guys talked about it, and so now we're looking at charged particles. And if you had a horse, could you take that horse and then put it on charged particles, and then lease it out to somebody else to use while you still own it? Does that make sense?
So
It does. That's not our core value prop.
I actually don't think I don't think it's possible yet, actually, man. So it's not, it's because of the fact, but it's not on your side of things. It's actually on Zed. They are whereas in Axie, you can provide people the ability to access your profile without having any access to the wallet and not having to sign things for every transaction. With Zed, they don't have that ability yet. So it is on their roadmap. So specifically Zed, if you're asking about that one specifically, that one wouldn't be the case because you have to do every single action in Zed. You have to sign the wallet for, and they haven't integrated that type of second, like third party management of your stable. It's something a lot of people are asking for because I have friends that have stable heads and like have people managing their stables on a regular basis right now, every day, breeding,
cool.
saying, yeah, I actually have an interview with one for my own stable tonight. But the problem is I can't really give them access to my best horses because I'm completely vulnerable in that situation. So I have to pretty much I have to create a new wallet and just put the horses I'm willing to risk in that wallet until they create the infrastructure for that. So, but in other cases, I'm not sure if that is possible or not.
Okay, excellent, excellent. One last question real quick. I know we're tight on time. Lou, I think you're in Santa Barbara, and I thought you had NFT Santa Barbara Mondays, but I heard you talking about LA Crypto Mondays.
Yeah, no, I'm actually based in New York. We started the Crypto Mondays in New York, January 8th, 2018, which was the highest market cap day for crypto for about 3 years. And then we decided to blow it out around the world in a decentralized fashion. So, like Ben runs Crypto Monday LA, he doesn't call me up and ask me what he can do. It's his to run as he wants. And that's why it's been such a success. And actually, the guy that ran Crypto Mondays LA before then, Mike Evron, recently moved to Santa Barbara, and he started up Crypto Monday Santa Barbara. So I suggest Mike's an OG. He was actually using crypto before Bitcoin, which is you don't meet many people like that. And he was using it because he was running a dark web, which didn't turn out well for him. But now he's living the dream in Santa Barbara.
Great, thanks very much. Appreciate it, you guys.
Okay, terrific.
And, John, I dropped a link. There is it's on meetup.com. And for any of the listeners, the easiest way to find it is Meetup.
Okay, yeah, right, got it.
And so we got a question from Doug. Doug, do you want to ask the question? Your mic is open.
Sure, thanks, Lou. I like your stuffed dog there, by the way, in the background. So I have kind of a general question, maybe just backing up a steps. I agree with the kind of tone or spirit of what a lot of you guys said, that it does seem like, looking at the velocity of what's going on with Axie and a lot of other projects, it seems like NFTs could be the gateway drug to crypto for the masses. I think it's a much more accessible concept than Bitcoin or DeFi. So for me, that raises some questions about scaling. And I just, I don't know, Drew, if this is a better question for you and how you think about it with regards to your portfolio companies, but how do you think about, these various scaling solutions, whether it's, Polygon versus some of these kind of more NFT purpose-built sidechain projects like Immutable or, what's that, Jump something or other? I mean, there's like, it seems like there's a new one every day, versus some of the purpose-built blockchains themselves, like a Flow or Wax. Like, how do you think about the puts and takes between all those, and is there, or even does it matter? Is anyone going to care?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's so much nuance to that question, and it's an interesting, and it's a discussion I have quite often. My theory on this is that in the future, I think we will have, many different blockchains. I think they will be interoperable, and I think Ethereum will be the store of record. So like if Ethereum is the foundational blockchain in the future, but everything else is like an extension off Ethereum, that wouldn't be surprised if that is the end result of all of this. But in the short term, listen, there are like Zedrun we would not be talking about Zedrun today if we didn't move off of Ethereum and go to Polygon. So like it would not be discussed today. It would just not be the utility would not be there because of the fact that the fees were just too high and there was just too much friction. And with Flow, like, listen, Flow is being designed for a user-first, sports-oriented, collectible, and gaming type of platform. Whereas I think ETH has been really defined DeFi first. So I think there are a lot of initial use cases. I'm hearing a lot of interesting things about Solana. I'm keeping my eyes on that as well. But my belief is that Ethereum, I don't think there's an Ethereum killer. I think there is an Ethereum. I think Ethereum I actually think it's really good that things like Polygon are in place because I think they're keeping people in the Ethereum ecosystem, whereas Solana is trying to take people out of the Ethereum ecosystem, which I don't feel as strongly about. But that's kind of my perspective. I think layer 2s are here for the time being until Ethereum until the Ethereum developer community is able to solve their problems. And my bet is that the community is strong enough to fix the problems faster than another product is going to be able to take the community away because of their initial benefits. So that's kind of where I stand on it all right now.
Great. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Okay, and I think we've got time for one more question, and that's going to come from Caitlin.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I'm wondering, is it possible for, like, I'm just starting to see a lot of items on my news feeds about metaverses and things like that. So, and usually there's like, it seems like the access point to buying art or clothing would be like, you know, to go to a booth or some sort of virtual kind of experience. So is it possible to have a booth that would represent like an on-ramp to charged particles services or something in a metaverse? Is that something that I might not be hitting like the nail on the head necessarily, but that's kind of my question is like, how do people, kind of similar to Doug's question, how can you scale and like, how can you get crypto to the masses or adoption? I would think that the metaverses would play a part in that. So what would that look like virtually? I'm done.
I don't know. Anybody want to take a shot at that?
Wait, sorry, can we repeat the question?
Yeah, sorry. So like, would there be a booth or like a virtual booth where you could go to in like a metaverse where you would say like, I want to use charged particles services, and like you'd kind of like take your avatar like to that booth? Is that sort of, is that something that could happen?
Are you thinking about like digital events? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Are you talking about like digital events?
Yeah, like, no, I mean, like, if you wanted to actually invest in an NFT that is made up of a bunch of other NFTs, and like you want to get into like the banking of things and kind of, you know, invest, like as if you would, like, okay, instead of downloading Robinhood, like the app to invest in the stock market, I could take my avatar to like in the metaverse and maybe get involved in charged particles and their services, or just like, you know, start investing. Is that something that's possible?
Totally possible. I mean, most things you can dream up are possible, whether it's like technically feasible in the next year or not. So I think there's a number of like hurdles that people need to go across to get to something like that. But I mean, the metaverse will be this in state that we kind of think about as like the physical world, but digital. So anything and everything you're kind of doing it in this physical world, you could be doing in the more virtual world. So having the ability to go to a virtual booth and deposit tokens into something and get another token back, totally possible. And charged particles could play a part of that, indeed.
Cool, thank you.
What could be happening, Caitlin, is that you know, other services start embracing what Ben has built, and so I could foresee on our side that on DubRadar we start offering our users to connect these NFTs, to embed one NFT in the other, and you know, build these packages as described from Ben. That's something that is certainly possible, and that we are starting to look at DubRadar. So you might not see it immediately in the metaverse, but as a step in between, you might find these services in services like DubRadar, where if you own NFTs, if you see your portfolio, the service offers you to do something with the NFTs that you hold in your portfolio, bundling them, or you know, renting them, or getting a loan, or putting them together, packaging them, what Ben has said.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Caitlin. And with that, Patrick, Thanks a lot, Ben. You were terrific. Drew, as always, great co-host. I look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks for Assets of the Metaverse, episode number 4.
See you later, guys.
Great to see you guys. Thanks,
guys.
Lou.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Drew.
Bye.